Hello, this is Doug and Cindy. Thanks for joining us today on Help Me Help Mama LiveCast. We've got a special guest today, our good friend Jeffrey Amauchi with Habibi Durable Medical Equipment, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate being here.
So, durable medical equipment, this is just a little bit different than we have talked about this in the past, but if your parent is declining, you need to meet someone like this guy here. And, a lot of times when people decline, it happens pretty quickly. Sometimes it's slow. But if you have the right medical equipment in-house, sometimes it will delay their need to go to a facility. Sometimes it's prescribed after they come back from a hospital. But so Jeff, just tell us a little bit about durable medical equipment and what folks need to know about that.
When you think of durable medical equipment, you think of your wheelchairs, your walkers, crutches even. What a lot of people don't think of is the other items. Diabetic supplies, incontinence supplies, bathroom safety equipment. All of these are under the umbrella of durable medical. And a lot of these things are going to help you keep mom in the house. You know, it used to be a joke a few years ago that, what are you going to do after college? Well, I'm moving back in with my mom. What we're finding now is, well, what are we going to do with mom? Well, she's going to move back in with us. So
works both ways, yeah.
Exactly. So what we'd like you to do is we'd like you to know some of the areas in the house where you're going to have difficulties, where they're going to have difficulties. You may not notice how high it is to step up over the shower, for instance, get into the bathtub to take a shower or a bath. Well, this is one of the number one areas that you're going to have difficulties. And I will tell you this, studies have shown by Fosamax from Merck that if your mom falls and breaks her hip in the bathroom, generally speaking, she has a 50% chance of passing away in 1 year.
Wow.
That's significant.
I've seen that.
So before we even get to durable medical, we may think of something even smaller, like a non-slip surface in the bathtub. Maybe she's, or your dad, is okay getting in and out. And then next step, we might think of something that she can grab onto, for instance, handrails. Now, a lot of places, newer construction, you may not be able to put up a handrail. So I brought a little sample here of something else.
Show and tell.
Show and tell. If you've got a bathtub that is porcelain or that is cast iron coated, something like this may help. And this is a clamp-on tub bar. I like these because they don't put holes in your walls, especially if you don't know what is behind those walls. We never know if the studs are rotted back there. And not only that, a lot of people say, well, mom might not be here that long, so let's not keep this, put up grab bars that are up all year round. So I like this as an option. I didn't bring in the shower chairs and things like that. They're a little bit large for samples.
So Jeffrey, where would someone typically encounter someone like you? What part of the process? So let's say let's just start with this scenario. Journey stop 1. Mom is just declining a little bit, and they want to granny-proof their house. They want to make sure it's okay. How would they encounter you?
First, I would suggest, and this is something that you guys probably have for all your professionals out there, go out and meet people in the industry. Get a feeling for who you're dealing with. Find out if their heart is truly in taking care of their patients. I learned a long time ago, you take care of the patients, the profits will come. But that's the number one thing, is take care of the patients. Interview them. I mean, you wouldn't let somebody take care of your children without interviewing a babysitter, so
Right.
It's the same thing with a durable medical equipment company. Look at the equipment they're offering out there. Make sure it's not chintzy or shoddy or the low bid supply out there. Make sure it's high quality. Little things to look at. If your mom is needing a rollator to get around the house.
Okay, describe a rollator for us.
A rollator. A rollator is a folding, rolling walker with a seat. We've seen them walking in malls. If you go about 7 in the morning, you'll see them in the malls. They got the handbrakes and the seat on them. One thing to look for ones with not the small, thin wheels, but the larger, thick wheels.
You're talking like 6-inch wheels?
I'm talking 8-inch wheels.
8-inch wheels.
Versus 5-inch wheels.
And how wide? How thick?
About an inch wide.
About an inch.
Versus a half to 3/4. It doesn't seem like that big of difference. But if you've got a house that's got carpets and rugs that are loose, or thresholds that somebody's got to go over, the larger wheel is going to go over it smoother. And you're going to have less likely or less prone to falls within your home.
So let's say that mom does fall and breaks a hip, and she goes to the hospital, and then she's in rehab, and then she goes back home. A lot of times at that point, a doctor would prescribe certain items of home medical equipment, right?
At that point, they may prescribe a hospital bed because your mom is not going to be able to change her position without assistance, and getting up and down, they're going to need assistance there. So they're going to want her to alter the height of her legs to get movement in that hip, etc. Here's the thing. Most likely your mom is on Medicare. Something has changed recently. This is the other reason to get to know your home.
Been a lot of changes in this law, so listen up.
Get to know your local durable medical provider. Find out who provides what. Recently, Medicare has gone into what is called competitive bid. So you might come to me and I can give you a bedside commode through Medicare, but I can't give you a hospital bed because I didn't win it. Find out if the durable medical company that you're talking to is one that'll manage your case for you. They'll accept everything in and then send the notes and the prescriptions for each piece of equipment to the appropriate company that won the bid. Now, I know this is confusing to you, but remember, it is your choice in who you choose to provide service. That's the other reason I'd like you to get to know your medical supplier out there. And find out how knowledgeable they are, too. That's part of the interview.
How do you know how knowledgeable they are? I mean, they obviously know more than I do because I'm not in durable medical. So how do I know?
Well, this is where you need to do more research.
Okay.
You kind of need to know what the items are out there. And if a lot of them will have showrooms set up, look at the showroom. Talk to one of the sales reps there. Say, why would my mom need this? Or why would my mom need this? What is there any? If I got this, is it going to exclude me from getting anything else? And a case in point I have on that is it's a tiered system with Medicare. They start you off with a cane or a walker. When I see people and I say, if you can, get the Cadillac of walkers, get the folding rolling walker with a seat, the rollator, if it's appropriate. Because once you get a walker, you can't get another one for 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
You're going to progress faster than that.
Generally, yes. But sometimes the walker is just needed for an indeterminate amount of time. Next, after the walker, you move to the wheelchair. Now, when the doctor prescribes you a wheelchair, he's going to have to provide notes that both say that mom can't walk, mom is going to need help, and once he does this, he attests that you cannot walk. Once he attests that you cannot walk, you can't get a rollator or a walker because
you can't walk.
Right. And the next step up from that is a power mobility device or electric wheelchair or scooter. Personally, although I don't sell them, I would recommend anybody that's thinking about a power mobility device go right for an electric wheelchair. Reason being older, people are more prone to having a stroke. A scooter requires 2 hands to operate. So if you get somebody that's got hemiplegia, well, they can at least switch the controller from side to side. But one of the things about getting the electric wheelchair is once you get an electric wheelchair, the physician has to attest that you can't walk, that you can't push the wheelchair around yourself, and that you require an electric mobility device. So all of a sudden, you can't get another wheelchair, you can't get another walker. It's a tiered system, and it makes logical sense, but we all do know that people's statuses change sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of little tips and tricks. If you've got questions, enter them in the comment box below, and we'll see them and answer them while Jeffrey's here today. This would be a great question if you got any questions about, or great opportunity if you got any questions about medical equipment for your mom or dad at home. And, one big deal is one provider, and Cindy ran into this with her mom, get a couple of pieces of medical equipment from one provider and think, well, I need something else, so just call back the same people, and no, we can't provide that. And that is that's a shocker. And so then you're going around, and a lot of the doctors don't know, right?
The doctors don't know. They just think that when I write a prescription, you're going to fill it. And what has happened with this competitive bid is they could have made it a lot better. Just a couple simple words, a simple sentence, any willing provider would have done so much for this. Right now, what they've done is they've picked the winner, and all of a sudden, all these orders come flooding into that one winner, and they can't handle it. It's breaking the system down.
So write your congressman about that one. But until the law changes, it's a good idea what you said earlier to be proactive and go out in the community. And there's so many different people in the system. It's hard to think of all of these. That's why we do a lot of these little presentations like this to try to educate all of the family caregivers about the different vendors and the different points at where you would need to meet someone. But at Journey Stop 1, when your loved one has just started to decline, it's a perfect time to get on top of this and meet someone like Jeffrey.
And like Jeffrey said, he does like case management. So if he won the bid on this piece of equipment, but he didn't win the bid on this one, and you need both of them, he will help you get this one. He will make sure you get it. So when you interview these medical equipment providers, make sure you find someone that will do that for you. Otherwise, you're going to have twice the work.
Yeah, and a lot of times it is a lot of work, but the main thing is just to find someone that will help and can educate you on the different things, like you say, on the different piece of equipment and how they work. And a lot of times it's you would think, I would imagine a lot of people, oh, yeah, I got this, I know how to do that. And then they get it home, and how do I work this thing? What do I do? And
well, to go into that, part of the requirement for both Medicare and Medicaid and for our accreditation, becoming an accredited body, is that we're required to provide training on any piece of equipment we have. One of my favorite patient types to train is the visually impaired diabetic. We have a talking glucose meter, and I train them how to use it, and we have them sign an attestation that we provided training. It's everyone should do that, and anytime there's any question at all, because in honesty, if you don't use this equipment properly, once again going back to the folding rolling walker with seat or rollator, if somebody doesn't tell you, or your mom, when you're sitting down in this or standing up, you lock the brakes. I can tell you we've had a couple of instances where people have just forgotten to lock the brakes, or just got a little careless, and the thing scoots out from underneath them, and the next thing you know, broken tailbone, or or broken arm, or because they try and catch themselves. So it is important to know how to use the equipment properly. Don't leave your DME until they've shown you exactly how to use it. Anything.
So I imagine a question would be, how's all of this good stuff paid for? So you mentioned Medicare already. What else?
Okay, Medicare, as you all know, does not pay the entirety of your bills. They will pay 80%. Sometimes there's a secondary insurance, a Medipack Advantage plan, or a Blue Cross and Blue Shield. What we have a lot of here in Arkansas as the secondary is a lot of times it's Medicaid, which will pay the 20%. One thing, there is a difference between Medicare and Medicaid, and this is general. Medicare will not pay for anything within the bathroom. So your shower chairs, transfer benches, grab bars, those are all state provided. Incontinence supplies in most states is only covered by Medicaid and not Medicare. So these are things where you also may want to get a good relationship with a DME provider that does home deliveries, for instance. That might be something that can help you out because, hey, we got to be here all this time with mom, and oh my gosh, I got to go to work, just for convenience. So try and find a provider that can supply other things as well.
So, and of course, private pay. A lot of people just pay out of pocket.
A lot of people do.
And VA, if someone was a veteran, I guess if they receive VA aid in attendance, that could be reimbursement.
The VA does that a little separately. TRICARE. It's very interesting. They like to take everything in-house, and so if you are VA, the VA will provide, or so they tell us. So we've done a few things for the VA when they've been unable to get something taken care of quickly, and somebody has the TRICARE and Medicaid. Believe it or not, we got a lot of veterans that are on Medicaid, which is unfortunate out there. That means
Right.
that they don't earn a lot of money. So,
And then, of course, private insurance. A lot of folks have private insurance.
a lot of people do have that private insurance, and that should cover your other 20%. Find out also from your DME suppliers if they take these other insurances. Generally speaking, as a secondary, you take anything, because Medicare will pay their 80%, and then they pass it right over the bill to the supplemental, and they just pay it instantaneous. They say if Medicare covered part of it, we'll cover this 20%. Now, if it's their primary, if you've gotten rid of your Medicare and gone onto an Advantage plan, this is the other thing that you need to find out from your durable medical supplier. Do you take X, Y, and Z? You don't. Then you go to who would you recommend? Another way you can tell how good your DME supplier is, they should know who they can refer you to. They should have a list of providers for each individual insurance. Because we can't do everything for everyone. There is no company out there that takes everything, that does everything. I don't do oxygen, but I know somebody that does. Make sure that they have a list of referral sources out there so they can help you out as the patient.
So, wow. Well, that's a lot. And if you think this is a lot, hang on. The laws change all the time, so don't worry, it'll change. I guess the main thing we learned from today is just be proactive and meet someone like Jeffrey in your community. Don't wait until it's the day that your mom is being discharged from the hospital and the doctor writes an order and you're surprised to find out you can't even get all of the equipment that you need. And you mentioned earlier, and this makes sense, I hadn't thought about it, but all of the equipment that's needed may not be readily available. They may have to order it in.
Well, and not only that, I always tell people, never get rid of a piece of durable medical equipment if it's still in working order. Unless the person that was using it has passed away and you can donate it to a church or to somebody who doesn't have insurance, keep that piece of equipment. Somebody may get better, but you never know when all of a sudden, they're going to be back on the walker again. So keep your equipment. It's worth it.
Right. Some good tips.
That's a lot to take in. Maybe we can get Jeffrey to help us with a checklist of things that you need to think about.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because there's a lot of them.
If somebody had a question or wanted to contact you, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can contact me on my cell phone. I can't believe I'm giving this out on...
Are you serious?
I am serious. No. I'm in the Central Time Zone up till about 11, so please feel free to call. 501-425-5553. I'll ask Doug and Cindy if they're willing to post that on their website. I have no qualms about taking calls. It's our job to take care of the patients. That's the number one thing.
That's very generous.
And is there a website where...
GoHHM.com is our retail website, and you can contact us via that, and we will get back to you on that, usually within 24 to 48 hours. It's now, I will tell you, on a holiday weekend where bowl games are going on, we may be a little bit delayed on that, but we will get it to you as quickly as possible.
Jeffrey, thanks for your time today, and meet a durable medical equipment provider in your area, and do so sooner rather than later while you've still got some time to do so. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Help Me Help Mama LiveCast. Have a great day.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.